In the year 2030, May 17th, Dr. Yule has been observing the cosmos with a new type of wave. It was a new discovery for the human race to finally understand the best way to see details in space by using a wavelength smaller than that of an electron. It could record the smallest of the details in planets and stars, and could even detect life forms in other small sections of the universe. Of course, the only thing that he could observe were bacteria, but it was still evidence for life. Dr. Yule then began to look at the mysterious dark energy and matter that has questioned scientists for many years, and try to make sense of the whole dilemma with the new instruments that he had. These fluid patterns don't seem to move in any orderly fashion, Yule stated while sitting down in his chamber, situated 50 feet in the air. He was positioned at Arizona, the place with the least amount of light pollution, in which Yule took advantage of. Dr. Yule had always liked the warmth of the Arizona sands, and would usually lay down in the sand when no one else is around his small facility that he funded with a few $1,000,000, which was obtained via internet funds. Dr. Yule was mostly alone in the facility, as most of the researchers he works with do research outside of the facility. But every day seemed to get no results, and the constant desert heat and tapping of the computer keyboards as he wore his cap to try and organize the dark matter photos had gotten repetitive and somewhat meaningless. It was starting to get the better of Dr. Yule, and he began to lose the motivation to observe dark matter and energy. All this money and new equipment and still no results, Yule muttered as the stars around his facility glowed, giving Yule a sense of isolation and loneliness. Year 2031. Dr. Yule has been given the opportunity to try out a new supercomputer that was funded and had the total price of $352,000. It had an almost self-aware intelligence that it almost felt alive. Humanity was coming close to their singularity, but Dr. Yule was only interested in the stars. Yes, perhaps he is interested in using the computers to solve his problems, as their rising AI has proven to start solving physics on their own. But there are many regulations to know when it is time to begin mass-producing these AI computers. Yule was not in the field of computers, so he had no interests in the possibility of a self-aware, artificial, and man-made sentient being. The computer setup was assisted with 20 other electrical and computer engineers that Yule had requested to help connect the new instrument so that the computer could piece together any patterns that perhaps Yule hasn't spotted himself. After 3 days of connecting the quantum computer to the monitor, which was the interface of the instrument, Yule finally felt a sense of intense motivation in which something may very well be solved in the first time in mankind by the use of computers. After loading in the images, the quantum computer began to analyze any patterns in the movement that Dr. Yule had traced. The anticipation showed in all of Yule's colleagues, and they waited while they watched the computer's loading percentage. Yule had been waiting for most of his life for this very moment. His childhood dream of revealing a groundbreaking discovery was leading up. He had memories of the suffering he went through as a student to try fit in with the best of the best thinkers, all the times he skipped fun activities just to study about what mysteries humans have for the world, and contemplating if his lifestyle is even worth it at the end were flashing in Yule's head. But here he is, finally getting the reward he struggled for. The computer had finished loading, and the patterns it showed were soul-crushing. It was so mind-numbingly pointless that Yule and all of his colleagues had stood frozen, dumbfounded and somewhat disappointed at the results. The quantum computer had compared the patterns to that of a brain synapse. What could this mean? Dr. Yule questioned. A brain. How could dark energy and matter possibly correlate with the synapses of the brain? Could this be a faulty mistake on the computer's part? Asked one of Yule's colleagues. I'll try and diagnose to see if there are any errors, a computer engineer requested. After looking through the bits of evidence the computer compared the patterns to, there was no doubt about it. The patterns of dark matter and energy really did have correlations to a brain and the synapses. It was a shocking revelation. Dear God, what did the computer just uncover? Dr. Yule muttered. There was a lingering terror in everyone's mind. If the patterns of dark matter and energy really correlate with synapses, so many awful possibilities arose. Everyone was taking in the idea that maybe this universe may very well be alive. A living universe, one with sentience and perhaps a greater sense of awareness that measly humans could not possibly comprehend. A cosmological superiority and a colossal galactic being that made humans mere specks of dirt.